So here we are with our Baja heat. We put it together for the second time today. Pulled the whole manifold off, took the flywheel out, made sure it was timed, and it's still, we couldn't turn it over. We thought maybe the valves weren't set right, getting air in, and then we thought maybe the centrifugal spring on the inside of the sprocket, the flywheel, on the back of that flywheel, there's a little spring that covers a hole and allows for air to go in and out, and to allow those valves to also let air in and out. And if you were having any trouble trying to pull it, like we could not pull it, it would not turn over with that pull start because it was so tight. We couldn't figure out, maybe it was airlocked or anything like that. But it turns out it wasn't that. I used liquid gasket, and it's a great gasket. This stuff works like a charm. What is it? Pentax? Permatex? Good stuff. Great sealer, but evidently these lug nuts, these nuts that hold that plate on, are just the right size so that they need to actually have a gasket. So I'm going to make a gasket. This thickness of this gasket is actually what those nuts actually need, because on the inside of that cover, the flywheel has a little pin on the side of it that actually pushes against this plate. And if I put this plate in too tight, it causes friction on that flywheel, believe it or not. And not having a substantial gasket in there actually causes that, and allowed the bolts to screw it too tight, because I wanted to torque them properly so that they didn't pop off with vibration. And when I torqued them tight, evidently it didn't have like a 16th of a gap, and it caused friction. So everything is really machined actually more precise than you think. It needs a proper gasket, not a silicone one, because a silicone one is probably like 1,000th thick and just causes too much pressure of that plate. So, lesson learned: if this thing is too hard to pull start and it won't turn over, or it does just turn over and when you shut it off it stops like someone applied a brake to it, it's this plate. This plate is way too tight. This plate right here is too tight. Those bolts are tightening it way too tight to the motor, to the actual housing, and pushing everything in too tight so that it's hard to turn over. Because as soon as I loosened it up, I could pull and turn this over real quick. So just so you know, could have been a lot of things. Could have been the valve springs. Could have been, untimed. But it could be other things too, like the plate is tightened too much and allowing too much friction. These things are designed to have somewhat of a gasket between them. Who'd have guessed? Who'd have thunk it? Anyway, thanks for coming out. We'll give you a little video again when it's all together. Thanks. Bye.